Well, guys, welcome to another episode of the World Football Summit podcast. We are recording live from Riyadh, World Football Summit Asia 24. And today I have the wonderful opportunity to welcome Shahrukh from Xplere, who's going to tell us a lot about what they do and why, the importance of technology, which is something that I really like to talk about. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having us here. Wonderful event.
Thank you. Usually I like to ask my guest, Shahrukh, a little bit about their career so they can introduce themselves to the industry. But I also want to understand in your case, why is it that you do what you do?
Fun question. So I've been working in sports and sports management, sports marketing, sports commercial sites. It's an interesting mix of the last 14 odd years. I'm originally from Pakistan, and that's where I started from. And then eventually, basically, I wanted to be a football player when I was young. That will answer the why question. And up until a certain point, that's all I wanted to do, right? We've all been there, done that.
Yeah.
That we want to play at the Santiago Bernabeu. We want to play at Old Trafford. But I also realized at a very early age that that's not going to happen. I was okay, good, but not going to play in Europe anytime soon. So the dream changed from playing in Europe to actually working in football. So that's what drove me for a number of years. So I worked on a significant number of football projects in Pakistan, and when I got to a point where I felt that my learning stopped.
Okay.
So when that stopped, I wanted to turn my attention to Europe, and that's what I did. So I did my master's in sports management from the University of East London. Got a very hands-on approach to studying what I'd been doing in terms of projects and understanding what drives the thought behind what we do, which was a fantastic experience. Later, I worked at Crystal Palace Football Club, massive opportunity, massive Premier League club as well.
Yeah.
Then I later headed the department at Coventry United as well, looking after the marketing commercial side. So I got a chance to be very privileged in the sense that an established club building and understanding what they are already doing, but also in a transitionary period working on a football club that was building itself up. So there's like two different ends of it. You got a Fortune 500 company, you got a startup. When you do both things, it gives you a very unique perspective, and of course with the local global flavor you bring, it turns into a very interesting mix. And my why was always, since I wanted to be a football player and I couldn't, I just wanted to be associated with the game in the manner that I could be. So put in the grind, got to where I am, and today I find myself in the windy streets of Riyadh. So the weather does remind me of London quite a bit in the last couple of days, which is one thing I was not expecting. And we are also here today. The sun is shining, the weather is much pleasant, and we're here at the World Football Summit. And I think it's been an interesting 24 hours for us as a company, which is a good time to mention what we're doing at Xplere. So Xplere is a company that works at the intersection of technology, digital commercialization, sports analysis, and all. Our mandate, and after we studied the market, so we are an established overall company. We work on multiple business segments, but we realized, and the amount of queries we were getting related to sports, we wanted to pursue something that was specifically catered to this market. And that's how Xplere was born. That was the genesis. And what we're doing right now is looking at all of these multiple areas, building products. So a lot of our products are sourced globally from different partners in the US, Europe, the UK. And the reason why we do that is because we are a turnkey solution provider for sporting organizations. Our main thesis is that we want to take sports organizations from point A to point Z. And on that journey of, let's say, digital transformation, commercialization, we can help you increase your fans, we can help you monetize better, increase your revenue, have all of the bells and whistles, but combined together as a turnkey solution, which we felt was also the gap in the market, that we're not pushing a particular product. We are solving problems. At the end of the day, when people come to us, we have our in-house consulting service. So we will either sit down with you over a nice cup of gawa, of course, and figure out where the problem really lies or what the opportunity you want to capitalize on. And based on that, then we can build a solution that solves that problem. And because this is a very wide mandate, but it's also important that football clubs, they're not just what happens on the pitch, as a lot of people know and a lot of people work on this. They have marketing operations, they have operations as a whole, administration, commercial side. All of these areas need to be linked when it comes to an organization. And once We talk about transformation, we talk about the Internet of Things, we talk about digitizing. It's not just one area.
No.
And this is why solutions need to be very holistic, and that's what we specialize in.
Amazing. And I guess now is the time to talk about this because the industry is at a point where they're looking for different avenues of growth.
Yeah.
They're trying to evolve their traditional sports business model. And I guess that to me, the question is, how do you see the landscape in terms of like everything that's happening around technology? How do you see the industry on that front? Is it ready? Is it not ready? What's the state? What's your analysis?
So my thoughts are that this project, Saudi Arabia's foray into sports, is unique.
Okay.
And why is it unique? You see legacy meeting the future.
Yeah.
So it's not like Saudi Arabia woke up one day and decided to be a football country. Saudi Arabia is and always will be a football country. And the legacy that you see with clubs over 50, 60 years old, Al Hilal is the undisputed champion of Asia, Al Ittihad, Al Ahly, these are household names in Asian football, right? And they don't need to prove that to anyone else. What we've seen happen in the last couple of years is this massive investment and the scale of ambition change. So we're not talking about just the Saudi Pro League anymore. We're talking about Saudi Arabia as a country embracing sports, embracing football. We see the 2027 Asian Cup coming. We see the 2034 World Cup coming as well. And we've also witnessed the bid recently with the marks being announced in Saudi Arabia, just going past everyone in the prior bids and scoring the highest marks possible. So that's an indicator of where things are going. And I think in terms of sports economy, or let's say the scale of it, I mean, we've seen $6 billion being invested over the last 5 years. We are seeing, from what I understand, 2 to 3% of the GDP being added in terms of sports and entertainment over the next 6 years. And this is combined with the fact that 80% of the country is already a football fan. They already love their sport. So this is going to grow at a pace and at a level where I don't think we've seen the likes of this before. And this is why for us at Xplere, getting involved with this and being on part of that journey for the next 10 years, of course, I think is a good timeline. Culmination of the World Cup in a decade. It will be a very short decade for the ones that are organized it, perhaps not as much for us, but I think it's going to be a fantastic journey. We're delighted to be a part of it, and I think because of with the futures where the needle is moving, we are positioned in that sense to play our role as well, help those organizations also get on their individual journeys to transform themselves and become the new face of not only Saudi Arabian football but sports as a whole.
In essence, you're riding the wave, and what I mean by that is there's a macroeconomic situation where the country wants to diversify its economy, make, as you said, the sport contribute to around 3% of GDP, 2.5, 3% of GDP. You also have a lot of, you said it, no? There's a lot of young population here. I think it's like 60% of the population under 30. That is forcing clubs to generate new businesses revenue because the fan has changed, their behaviors have changed, and they're much more digital. So I guess my question now to you is, how are you riding that wave? Are you able to share, maybe not with names, but the work that you're doing here in Saudi Arabia with clubs? Even if it's kind of like helping us understand the type of problems you're helping them solve, or how are you involved with them in a way?
So I'll give you a very specific example. So yesterday we signed an MOU. I mentioned that we are an aggregator. We work with different product providers to build that together. So we signed an MOU with eCal yesterday.
Okay.
eCal is one of the leading providers in the world for calendar marketing. So they work with everyone from the Premier League to NBA and like everything in between. And we are now working with some of the biggest names in terms of footballs. Obviously, that's under process, so I wouldn't name them. But we talk about leagues, federations, clubs. All of them have a specific use case. So that is what example of what we're doing. We're bringing the best around the world, localizing it to the market, tailoring it to the needs. Again, this is very important as well, that every country has their unique way of doing business, right? And it's very important to localize that and make sure that you cover that in the manner where you are physically present as well, which we're doing. Of course, we're based right here in Riyadh, and we're bringing all of these solution providers together and offering these products to different entities. And I think it's a wonderful conversation. A lot of them are very eager, different parts of the journey, but I think that's how the ecosystem evolves, right? It's not that everyone will be starting from point A or point B. Everybody's on a different wavelength, but what I've liked about the conversations is that the ambition is there.
Yeah.
The energy is there.
I agree.
They wanna move forward. They have the resources. They have the willpower. Now is sitting down with different individuals, companies like ourselves as well, and figuring out what's the best way to get where they want to be.
Amazing. Well, I think that's a key thing to understand. Not everybody's on the same path in the journey. So it's good that to see brands like Xplere really be able to adapt, and just I like the idea of you're building an ecosystem of partners which is going to help tackle the different paths, different points of that journey. So anyway, so this has been amazing, Shahrukh. I really appreciate your time here today, and I'm really sure that all these people watching here are going to be interested in learning more. So that's my last question to you. Where can people find out more about you or about what you do?
So you can visit our website. It's a good start. If you're in Riyadh, you can connect with us on our socials, on our LinkedIn, and we're also here today. If you get a chance to go to the World Football Summit, of course this might be later, but we are going to be featuring at events like this. You can always catch us there. If you're in Riyadh, drop by for a nice cup of gawa as well.
Hopefully, many more of our events. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.